Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Unveiling Esther. My name is Esther. Today, I'll be teaching you how to draft that beautiful crop top you can see on my thumbnail. um Please, if this is the first time you're coming across my video, do well to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted when I post a new video. Thank you so much. To my returning subscribers, thank you so much for coming back to watch my videos. It means the world to me. So let's dive into the tutorial. So the first thing we are going to do is to divide our paper. We're going to divide our pattern paper to accommodate the front and back pattern, and I'm working with these measurements. Shoulder 14, the round bust is 32, so I'm going to work with the highest measurement, which is the round bust. Her waist is small, she's on the slim side. My client's waist is small, so her waist is 27 inches. So I'm going to be working with the highest measurement to divide this paper. So I'm going to add also the allowance for darts and side seam. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to add 3 inches to this, making it 11. To this 8, I'm going to make it 11. So this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to be measuring 11 inches. Then I'm going to roll it down. Okay, you can see that. So I'm going to also rule another 11 inches, though I'm not going to be using up to that, but I'm going to be ruling 11 inches here too. For the back pattern, so I'm going to be drawing a straight line. Okay, so after doing that, we're going to create a startup line. Okay, so I'm just going to be looking for a straight line here on my rule and match it up so that everything falls equally on the same place. Okay, so after doing that, the next thing we're going to do is shoulder measurement is 14 inches, so I'm going to be measuring out 14 inches divided by 2, which is 7. Remember, this is the half bodice. Okay, this is the front part, half of it. So then I'm going to use my rule. To draw a straight line down, measuring her armhole depth. I'm going to be using 6.5 inches. Okay, so I'm just going to mark where the 6.5 inches ends, then I'm going to rule that. Then I'm going to add 1 extra inch. I'm going to tell you why I added that 1 extra inch. because sometimes when you just go down and draw a line, sometimes it's very difficult for you to get the armhole straight. Okay, so that's why I usually do this is how I do mine, to make everything come out perfectly well. So the next thing I'm going to do is come down by 1 inch for the shoulder slant, and I'm going to be connecting this straight to the edge. Can you see that? Straight to the end of the paper. Okay, straight to the end. Then now I'm going to mark out my neck width. I'm going to be using 3 inches as my neck width. Why I connect this is to avoid gaping. You know, when you start from this 3 by 3 inches to draw your line there, it makes the line too slanted. So this is going to help you to avoid gaping on the neckline. Okay, going to help you avoid gaping on the neckline. So the next thing we're going to do now is just take note of this point. Then from that point, you're going to place your tape rather, this way. Now you're going to take your shoulder to bust measurement. Shoulder to bust measurement is 10 inches. Shoulder to under bust is 12.5 inches, and shoulder to waist is 15.5 inches, and the top length is 17.5 inches, and I'm going to be adding 1 extra inch for allowance. So I'm going to be drawing horizontal lines. Make sure the line on your rule aligns with the edge of the paper for you to get a perfect line. Okay, so after doing this, so I'm going to be labeling it so that you know what I'm working with. I'm going to be labeling it. This is our bust, our under bust line, our waistline, and the top length. This is the allowance. Okay, 1 inch allowance. So after doing this, now the next thing we're going to be doing is to mark out our bust span, and her nipple to nipple measurement is 7 inches. So we're going to be dividing that by 2. That will be 3.5 inches. So I'm going to be marking it out to the length of the top rather. Okay, then I'm going to connect a straight line from the bust to the hemline of the top. Can you see that? Can you see that? So this is it. After connecting it now, you have to look for the exact measurement you're going to take off this measurement. How do we do that? First of all, I'm going to measure my round bust. What is my round bust? My round bust is 32. 32 divided by 4 is 8 inches. Okay, I'm going to mark that here, and I'm still going to mark that on the waistline. I'm still going to mark that out on the waistline. The same thin. Okay, 8 inches on the waistline. And also remember that the round top length is 27 also, so we're still going to be taking that. Twenty-seven divided by 4 is 6.75. Is 6.75, but we're still going to take the 8 inches measurement here. Okay, okay, so the next thing we're going to do now is to get the perfect that we're going to be using is I'm going to be using my pencil to mark out our waist. Round waist measurement is 6.75. That's divided by 4. 27 divided by 4, we have 6.75. I'm going to be marking it out here. Please pay attention to this particular place. Please pay attention to this particular place. Let me slide my paper a little bit upward so you see what I'm doing. Please pay attention to this point. So you're going to measure this, and what I got here is 1.25. so that is the dart measurement you'll be taking from your waist. Okay, from your waist you're going to be taking 1.25, and I'm going to be sharing it across this line, on this line. Okay, I'm going to be sharing it on this line. So I'm going to be using 0.5 here, and here I'm going to be using 0.75, so that will make it the 1.25. Then now let's go to the under bust. The under bust tightening, what we're going to take off from there to create our under bust tightening. The under bust, now we're going to take the full measurement for our under bust from this line. Okay, the under bust is 26. 26 divided by 4 is 6.5. So I'm going to take note of that. So now we're going to check this. Okay, you can see here that it's 1.5 that we have as the under bust tightening. 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do here is we're going to share this also, and I'm going to be using 0.5 here also. Okay, I'm going to be using 0.5 here and 1 inch on this part. So we've taken off our 1.5 inch. Now we're going to use our curved ruler, and I'm going to turn it this way, and I'm going to come down from the bust point by half inches to avoid the sharp, your bust having a sharp point. Okay, so we're going to connect it down here. Can you see that? We're going to connect it, and we're going to flip our curve over to the other side and do the same thing on the other side. Can you see that? So that's our under bust tightening. Then now we're going to use our rule to connect this together. with a straight line and this together. Then we're going to go down and connect this. It's very easy. It's very easy. This method works for everyone, okay? But if you still wish to add more dart allowance, is still okay. But if you use this method, you're going to get the exact dart allowance you're going to be taking out of your pattern for any person you're working with, okay? So now the next thing we're going to be doing is create I'll be working with shoulder darts, okay? So I'm going to be checking how many inches is remaining here, and we can see that it's 4 inches remaining. I'm going to be dividing it by 2, so we have 2 inches there. So I'm going to be connecting this straight down with my straight ruler down to my bust point. Can you see that? I'm connecting it straight to my bust point. You can leave your pattern like this, or you can decide to give it an extra fit. So I'll be giving mine an extra fit, okay? I'll be giving mine an extra fit, but I'm going to be removing half inch darts at this top, okay? I'm going to be removing half here and half here, okay? But I'm going to be using a pencil, okay, because there are some adjustments I'm going to make. So I'm going to be using a pencil. Okay, let me use a marker. Let me use a marker. Can you see that? And I'm connecting it straight down to the same leg, that leg that is leading to the bust point. Can you see that? So after this, what we're going to be doing is I am going to be holding this together, okay? I'm going to be folding this together, and I'm going to be taking that leg down here to this, okay? Can you see that? So what we're going to do next is, let me hold this with a masking tape. Let me hold this down with a masking tape. I'm still going to remove it. So let me just hold this down with a masking tape temporarily. Then we're going to check our shoulder measurement again like we did in the beginning. So from here, this point, I'm going to check the measurements, and it's going to be 7 inches. Remember, we took out 1 inch dart, so it reduced it. If you notice, this ended at 6 inches because of the new 1 inch dart we removed from here, okay? So from there now, I'm going to be drawing my new line. Make sure that your line on your ruler is connecting straight to this point. I'm going to be drawing my new line. Can you see that? So I've drawn the new line. Then I'm going to be going down by 1 inch like I did earlier previously. Then I'm going to be connecting this to the edge again. Do you see that? This will help your neck to relax properly, and when you join your shoulder, it's going to end on the same spot. That's the reason why we do this, okay? So I just joined this down here. So this is our new arm hole. Okay, this is our new armhole. This is our new armhole. So from here, let me open this up so that you will see what it looks like. Can you see that? So we're going to be connecting this first so that you know where we're going to be cutting off. Okay, then now for the front block, I'm going to be dividing this into two. Okay, I'll take note of that. Then I'm going to go down by half an inch. I'll go in by 0.75 inch. You see that? So now I'm going to use my straight rule to draw this, and I'm going to be extending the line. I'm going to be extending the line above it. Then from this point, I'm going to connect it with the curved ruler. Connect it with the curved ruler to meet the spot where we measured our bust. Okay, our bust point there. Can you see that? Can you see that? So that's it, and you can use your pen to blend it out that way. So the next thing we're going to do now, I hope you're not getting confused because this is very easy. Just follow the video step by step, and you're going to understand everything I'm doing. These things I'm doing is just for me to get a perfect result. Okay, a perfect result. That's why I'm doing that. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do is going to take out our bust darts. Our bust darts for the front is 1.5. I'll be taking 1.5 inch because her back half length is 1.5 inch shorter than the front. That's why we're going to be taking the bust dart of 1.5 inches. So on this line, I am going to be coming out by, I'm going to be marking out 1.5 inches, and I'm going to be connecting it straight to the bust point. Okay, straight to the bust point. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to extend this line to the allowance I have. Okay, I'm going to show you why I did that. Okay, so now let's go to the back block. Let's go to the back. Let's go to the back. So remember I told you that the front part is 1.5 inches longer than the back. So for the back now, I'm going to just go up by 1.5 from this line at the end. This line, I'm going to go up by 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches. Just to make everything easier for me. Then the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go by 1 inch above the bust point. I'll tell you why I went 1 inch above the bust point. That is for my darts at the back. Okay, that's where my darts would end. And also I'm going to be measuring this. That's the armhole depth. I'm going to be measuring this the distance from here to here is 7.5 inches. So I'm going to mark 7.5 here. I'm going to mark 7.5 here. Okay, so I'm just going to draw vertical lines, horizontal lines to connect these dots. I'm going to be drawing horizontal lines to connect these dots. This is where my back darts will end. Let me just mark it that way. Then this, let me measure this out so that I can just mark it on the other part. This is 17.75, and I'm going to be measuring 17.75 here too, so that it will be the same thing. Okay, so it will be the same thing. I'm going to rule this, connect this line with horizontal lines. Okay, so after this, now the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to be measuring my shoulder. Half of my shoulder is 7 inches, just like I did in the front part. Then I'm going to place my rule and draw a straight line down. After drawing the straight line down, just like I did for the front, I'm going to come down by 1 inch here and connect to the beginning part. Okay, can you see that? So I've done this. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm also going to take note of my neck width, okay, which is 3 inches. It has to be the same thing, 3 inches. So after doing that, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking my bust span, which is 7 inches divided by 2, 3.5. But instead of me taking 3.5, because I'll be going in at my waist, okay, let me mark out my waist measurement. Okay, let me mark out my waist measurement. My waist is 14. Okay, my back waist is 14 inches, so I'm marking this out here. Then I'm going to take this measurement from the top to see what it has here. Okay, so I'm having 14.75 here, so I'm going to come down here and mark 14.75. Don't mind me, I always love my work perfect, so that's why it's like this. Okay, I always love my work perfect, so that whatever I do, it's in line. Okay, it's in line, whatever I do. Okay, I just realized that here I didn't take 17.75. I just noticed that the line was a little bit slanted, so we're going to be correcting that. Okay, now it's straight. Then I'm going to be connecting this line too. Can you see that? So we've connected our lines now. So at this waistline, to eliminate zipper bulge, I'm going to be going in by 0.75 here. 0.75 from my waist, and I'm going to connect this straight to the top. Can you see that? And I'm going to connect this back to the end of this top. Can you see that? Can you see that? So can you see that? So the next thing we're going to do is, let's go to the armhole. The armhole is armhole depth is 6.5. We're going to be taking half of it, and right there at that spot, I'm going to be going in by half inch. Okay, then I'm going to connect this with a straight ruler. Okay, then see the tricky part here. Every measurement you're going to take now, we go straight from every round measurement, will go straight from this line. Okay, straight from this line. So I'm going to be taking my round bust measurements, which is 8 inches here. Okay, 8 inches from that mark. I'm going to mark 8 inches. So this is where I'm going to connect my line to my curve, my armhole curve to, directly to this. Okay, can you see that? So that is for the back armhole curve. This is for it. Okay, the next thing we're going to do now is I'm going to take note of the dart point by measuring our bust span at the back. Remember, we went in at the waist by 0.75 inches. So and our bust span is 3.5 inches. So you're going to say 3.5 plus 0.75. Okay, because if you don't do that, your dart will be too close to the middle part of your back. Okay, you have to do that to balance it up, because you went in there by 0.75. You have to replace it on the dart. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. You have to replace it on the dart. Okay, so this will be 3.5 plus 0.75 is 4.25. So that is what we're going to take as our bust span for the back. So let's do that. Now this particular bust span measurement, rather, we're going to take it from this point, the edge, the starting line. Okay, that's where you're going to take it from, so that you can get a straight line for your dart. So I'm going to take it from there, which is 4.25. I'm going to mark this out, and I'm going to go here to 4.25. This is the waist, this is the full length. Okay, allowance plus full length. Okay, that's the one here. Okay, this is our waist, and this is where our back dart is going to end. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do now is Still measure this for the end so that we can get a straight line, 4.25, and we're going to draw a straight line down to this point where our dart for the back is going to end. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to be taking half inch on both sides for our back darts. So sorry, I don't know what happened. My video just stopped working. So let's continue. Let me show you how I achieved this. So where I stopped was that I went in by half inch on both sides, half inch on both sides, half inch on this line, and half inch on this other line. So after going in by half inch on both sides, then I now connected it to these are points where the dart leg ends. Okay, this is our point where the dart leg ends. So after that, what I did was, just as we did in the first part, the front block of this crop top, I went ahead to measure what was remaining here and I divided it by 2, and it was 2 inches there. So I joined it to the straight line from this point down there. You can see how beautiful it's looking. Then I said, if you want to add a zipper allowance, what you do is you come out here by 1 inch. Very simple. You come out here by 1 inch, which is the waistline, and you just go to the top and you come out by 1 inch there. Then you now connect this one to the waistline first. After connecting to the waistline, then you connect this here. So that was how we were able to achieve this. So let me just state it out, the zipper allowance. Okay, but she's going to be using the lacing, and she told me that, my client told me that she would just want a little, like, let it just be that is a little of the lacing showing at the back. So what I'm going to be doing is, since I'm not using a zip, I'm just going to come here, just from this place. I'm just going to come here. I'm going to be removing 0.75 inch. Okay, let me go to the waist. I'm going to be removing 0.75 inch. Then here too, I'm going to be removing 0.75 inch. Okay, here I'm going to be removing 0.75 inch. Then I'm going to connect the lines together. Can you see that? So after doing this, the next thing I'm going to be doing now is to take my measurements. Okay, I'll be taking my measurements now from the previous line, rather, sorry. We'll take it from this first slant we made. Please don't be confused. We're supposed to have done that before this, but never mind. We're going to be using this line. Okay, this line, this is where we're going to take our measurements from. So I'm going to be taking the round bust measurement. I've already taken it here, taking my round bust measurement here. The next thing I'm taking out is my round waist measurement. My round waist measurement is Sorry, we are supposed to have connected this that leg is supposed to be connected to the waist here. The waist here. Sorry about that. So we measured, let's go back to this. We measured ½ inch here and ½ inch here. So we're going to connect it to this place. We're going to connect this to here, and then we're going to connect this back to the end. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I used the black marker now to show the right thing we're supposed to do there. Okay, so this is the right thing we're supposed to do there. Sorry about that. So now, what are we going to do now? We need to take our measurements. Okay, we need to be taking our measurements. Then our round waist measurement is 6.75 plus this 1 inch that we have here. So we're taking from this line. Okay, we're taking from this line. So we now have 7.75. 7.75 because we added this 1 inch that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to take this with a straight line down, because even as much as we want a fitted gown, even as much as we want a fitted crop top, the down parts should be slightly wider to accommodate the hip. Okay, so we're going to just do this a straight line just like that. That's our back bodies. Okay, our back bodies. So I'm going to be putting a lace in here. Just to let it just look like it's a zip there. It's not like I'm doing any professional lacing that I'll have to like reduce something smaller here and something bigger there. I just want just a lacing that will just go through the back. Okay, I'm not going to show. That's what she said. So the next thing we're going to do is to mark out our neckline for the front. Our neckline for the front is 8.5-inch deep. So 8.5-inch deep. She wants it very deep. So 8.5-inch deep. And it's a V-neck. It's a V-neck. It's a V-neck. So that's for the front neckline. Then for the back neckline, I'm going to be coming down by, I'm going to be making the back neckline a little bit deep. So I'm going to be coming down by 5 inches. Okay, 5 inches from this point. 5 inches. So this is it, and I'm extending the line there. I'm also going to extend the line here. Then I'm going to mark out my allowance here and here. Here is already 0.5 inches, so just going to connect this together. I'm going to extend the line a bit. Okay, and I'm going to be doing the same thing too. I'm going to extend the line a bit here. So now, since we're using 1/2 inch for our sewing allowance, we're going to be doing this. Come out by 1/2 inch. You can see I just eyeballed it. Come out by 1 inch, and then we're going to take this also, or you can just use your hand to curve the 1/2 inch out. Okay, so after carving the the 1/2 inch out for your allowance, we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to extend this V shape. We're going to extend it, and also this other line, we're going to extend it. You see that? And this line, we're going to be extending it, and I'm going to be extending it also, so that we can add our allowance. So now, if you check here, it's going to be 1/2 inch already. So let's go to this place and measure 1/2 inch. Then we're going to connect this 1/2 inch together as our allowance for sewing the shoulder, and also this too. We're going to measure half inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and we're going to connect this together. So we marked out our allowance for that. Then we're going to stretch this a little bit, and we're going to come here, mark out 1/2 inch, and then we're going to join this together. And like we did earlier, you can use your hand and boil it to be 1/2 inch, or you can simply just use your tape. You measure half till you get down. Okay, that can also work. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do now is to cut this out. If you were to be using the zipper allowance, you would have cut from here down and add your zipper allowance. But since you are not using your zipper allowance, and I'm going inside because of the lacing I'll be doing, she just wants it to follow the zipper line down with a very little opening. She doesn't want it to be so open. Okay, so next what I'm going to do now is to cut this out. Then we're going to work on our bust that. First of all, let me cut the front. So I'm going to be cutting this out. Remember to add your sewing allowance to this part of your, because we did not add sewing allowance to that. Please remember to do that. So we've removed the dart that was there. I'm going to be cutting this out soon.
Mommy. Mommy.
So I'm going to be cutting this out. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to cut this out from here, and as I'm cutting, I'll cut to the edge so I can close my bust dart. So I'll be using a gum. Can you see that? You can see that our lines do not align anymore. So I'm going to be aligning this from here. I'm going to be joining it to the waistline. Okay, now you can decide to add your allowance. Okay, so I want to add 1.5-inch allowance, 1.5-inch allowance. Go straight to the waist and add 1.5-inch allowance, and add 1.5-inch allowance here too. So I'm going to be connecting this, extend the line a little bit upward because of the allowance for the side, for the armhole rather, the armhole allowance, and I'm going to connect this. Can you see this? So our front block is ready. So we're going to cut this out. Can you see that? Can you see that? So this is our middle piece and this is our side piece. So I'm going to be labeling it side, front, middle, or center front. Okay, this is for the front bodice. This is for the front block. So let's go into the back block. Let's cut it out. Okay, here we're not going to be doing any bust that, so we can just simply go and add our allowance to this. Just add our 1.5-inch allowance here, 1.5-inch allowance here, 1.5-inch allowance here. So I'm going to extend this to this point, and I'm just going to draw a straight line down. Okay, I'm going to be drawing a straight line down. So now we're going to cut this out. If you were to add a zipper allowance, this is okay. You cut it with the zipper allowance, but I'm not going to be adding that. So I'm going to be cutting from here. Another thing that helps you for this zipper part, why I connect it this way, it helps the zip to lay flatter. If you're to draw the neckline first and then you connect the zipper, you see that the zip will not balance very well at the back. But when you do it like this, it just lays perfectly well on the back. I think you should give it a try and you'll see the difference. So I'm cutting this out. Let me extend this line. Let me extend it to the allowance part so I know where I'm cutting. If you're to add the zipper allowance, this will be our cover. I'll be cutting here because that's where I need. Okay, then can you see that? Can you see our back? So I'm needing to cut this out. So this is our side back. Our side back, and this is our center back. So here comes the end of this tutorial. Look at our patterns neatly done for this project. The next video I'll be showing you some of my tricks and tips while I'm going to be sewing this project. I'll be showing you the tricks I'm using to sew my project to make them come out perfectly well and neatly. So this is our center back and our side back. This is our side front and our middle front. That's our center front. Thank you so much for watching. Please, 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 please do well to subscribe, and also share my link, share the video so that someone can learn also from this. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next class. Thank you.